Alright, how's it going, everybody? This is Ismortah, and this evening during my Saturday morning echo sound works, which is great. During my Saturday morning wow, we are starting off great. During my Saturday evening 6 p.m. Central, in this case board game stream, gonna be showing you some very old, very classic board games. Now, these are board games that I have accumulated over the holidays that were my father's, actually. And so we're going to see just how old these games are and what sort of games they made back in the day. Now, these are classic games, so you'll recognize these as Stratego, Risk before it was Risk, it looks like, and Monopoly. But you see how they were made back in the day. When I say back in the day, I mean 2 of these games were actually back from 1960, and one of them was from 1970. So they are as old as shit. So I want to show you what the progenitors to classic board games, as you know today. And of course, if you like what you see, be sure to comment, follow, and all that jazz on twitch.tv/Ismortah. And if you miss a stream, no worries. You can catch it the following day on YouTube at Shadow Balance Games. It's up in Actors TV. Yeah, Stratego is fun. Ironically, it's probably not a game that's as fun to me that much anymore, only because, as you probably know, I'm not a fan of memory games, and it's very much a memory game. A huge part of it. I mean, obviously a huge part of it is strategy, pre-planning, and then how you react and read somebody, but also like remembering, okay, where was that fucking bomb that I thought I saw, and yeah. But yeah, I've never really seen a game like it, to be honest. Kind of its own thing. Like, people have made Monopoly rip-offs and Risk rip-offs, but Stratego, not really. Lying being deceptive as far as a player, but as far as a whole army of units, no. Like a hidden army, not really. Cool. Well, let's jump into it. I don't expect this to be a long stream. I just want to show you. This is just an unboxing to show you what's in each of these. Maybe take a look at the rule book to see the copyright and how old the sin these games are. Cool. Let's do it. All right. So the first one I'm going to show you is Stratego. And this is a game that you have a whole bunch of different pieces representing your army that look like these, except you're playing one color. And the other side have different value pieces, S through 10, I think it is, and a bomb. And certain piece, a lower piece can always kill a higher piece, but there's some special rules with scouts and bombs. And you're supposed to just maneuver until you get the enemy's flag. That's how you win the game. But anyway, this isn't a how to play video. This is an unboxing. All right, so here is Stratego. I'll see if I can't get some good shots. What's funny, this says since 1860. Oof, Milton Bradley since 1860. But you can see, like, hey, it's kind of, like, even this picture is kind of deceptive, and I'll get into this here in a second. It looks like, yeah, the whole family could play the game. No, you can't. These two are playing the game. The dad is cheating the fact he's up so high looking at shit. And then the boy, what the fuck is he doing? It's like, yeah, you could watch 2 people play, I guess. You see here on the right, it says, Stratego is one of the best games you'll ever play. Here's why. A game for 2 that is easy to learn, combines excitement, strategy, memory, and suspense. Each player commands an army and moves the pieces over a battlefield to search out the enemy's flag and win the game. Wonderful father-son game, great for the entire family. I assume in this case we've seen great for the entire family, meaning the whole family can play it, not you could all play it at once, like you're seeing here. No, you can't. What is going on here? Anywho, There's nothing on the back. Because honestly, back in really old games, there was nothing on the back. And they would just take like a actual picture for the front. Like even Fireball Island, that I showed many streams ago, it was that same thing. Same with the Mega Virus. They didn't have all this like graphic design shit like you see. Just very minimalist. They're kind of trying to capture you with their words. Another thing that I noticed was common for these really old board games is there was no rule book at all. No rule book. All of the rules were actually printed on the inside of the box. Which honestly was probably cheaper to make. You have very concise rules. You don't have to worry about flipping pages or printing an entire rule book. But yeah, that's actually all the rules for the game right there. Alright. Not sure where we kept this cardboard piece. Oh, that's the press top of the box, so it's adding space, I believe. So here is the board of Stratego. And they show you pictures at the bottom here of what all the different numbers are again, so you know what the pieces are. But mechanically, all you have to know is the numbers. But if you say, hey, you took my captain, you can say you took my captain instead of you took my number 5. And the terrain that means something too. The only terrain that actually means something is the lakes here or ponds. You can't move over it. These are obstacles, so you can essentially block someone at choke points with pieces. All right. And this basically it. And then you just have a tray of these plastic pieces that have foiled images of the different type of piece, which is cool because you don't just see the number, you also see a silhouette of who the person is, which is pretty cool. Let me just check so it isn't hidden. No. I'll show you a piece for an example. So see, it's set like this, so you can't see it except if you're on the one side of the board. But I mean, like these pieces are like these printed foil and plastic. So I mean, these, even though there's not much of the game, it's like this is pretty cool quality. I don't think I've ever seen foil printed plastic in any other board game ever, to be honest. Foil printed on cardboard, yes, or on cards, yeah, but like on plastic. That have this like silk screen reflective on it, no. Then each of these has a plastic cover, and each army is exactly the same, just different color. But yeah, that is Stratego. It is actually really easy to play. It just, like they say for Othello or chess, it's just really hard to master. Because it's not just trying to remember where someone is, but trying to guess what they're going to do, and trying to have and the pre-planning before you even start to see how can I trick somebody into going somewhere. That's Stratego. And like this game, I just want to point out one thing is typically rule books say what's in the box and how to play the game, right? But what's also cool is this is something before its time as well, is tips for strategy too, right here. Which is something like I did for Elementers. You see commonplace in board games is, what are strategies I should be aware of? Like, I'm sure one is probably bombs don't move. So if you see a piece that never moves, there's a high chance it could be a bomb. Or it could be a feint that someone's having their piece never move, even though all of the pieces around it have gotten killed or moved away, just to feign that it's a bomb. I'm sure that's one strategy that points out. All right, let me see how we're doing on time. Cool. Want to be like 10 minutes each. All right, the next one is the American Heritage Game of the Civil War. Now, my assumption when I took a sneak peek at this is just Risk before Risk became a thing. And I'll show you why here in a sec. But it's American Heritage Game of the Civil War. Oh, actually, wait. There's one thing I want to point out, which I don't think I did. Wait a minute. Is how old the game is. Okay, so for Stratego, and I can see it on the bottom here, copyright 1961. That's pretty crazy. All right, American Heritage Game of the Civil War. Anything on the back? Nope. And then the inside is extensive rules. I'm not going to go into the rules, but here it is. There's print on the inside of the box. But I've noticed it uses pieces just like Risk. The gameplay is probably different. But it does use the same pieces, I've noticed. And also, this game is just 2-player, like Stratego, as opposed to Risk, which can be up to, 4, 6 players, something like that? A lot of players. Yeah, because this game doesn't even look like it uses dice. It looks like just positional if I attack you. But anyway, I don't know how the game plays. That'll be a future stream. Oh, actually, no, it says 2 or 4 players. But it's always one side versus the other, it looks like. North versus south, obviously. All right, here's the game board. Wow, this game board... It's got shit, man. It's like a linen finished board. Meaning you see like the cross hatching. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got like a texture to it. All right, so we got her. So here is the game board. And it looks like there's different places where you can, or at least it's showing you different cities. See different states. Actually, let me turn off that spotlight above. It's causing a lot of glare. All right. And then on the inside, what do we got here? Well, it looks like we got a very old advertisement. Welcome to Game Land. Let's talk about Game of Life, Monopoly. Of course, now it's too dark. It's like... All right. Shoots and Ladders, and some other games I've never even heard of. Come to Milton Bradley Land for all the fun. Free information about American Heritage Publications, which is the game studio, I would imagine in this case, whereas Milton Bradley is the publisher. Kind of like Fantasy Flights, the developer, and Asmodee is the publisher. Sort of. Looks like there's dice. So there are dice rolls used for something. Here. This is just an empty box. This stuff is probably supposed to be inside it. So it doesn't splash around. Just check if anything's under here. Well, because it's a really good place to put stuff. The fact that you could have a cardboard piece that you print to do something on, and then the other side you could hide units. Like, I believe Memoir 44 did that. The fact that you could, or some other games that you could, just packing-wise, you can put stuff under here to save space. But no, this looks like it has cardboard trays to hold all the plastic pieces. And it looks like it's, yeah, you have infantry, cavalry, and cannons, looks like. And then, even though this has a complicated rules right here, it looks like on the center here is like a quick play. Quick play before quick play. You see summary of rules. Infantry, cavalry, and artillery, what their movement is, what their strength is. General rules in battle. It's like a quick guide. As opposed to being, make your eyes bleed to try to learn the rules. Look at this. But yeah, so here are all the, I'll show you each piece up close. Here's an infantry. I was putting my hand behind it. That way it doesn't try to focus on the background because it sees words. It's a zooming trick. Only because it's on autofocus is why. Here is a cavalry. And then we have a artillery, a cannon, which you notice is all the same three pieces used in Risk as well. Big surprise there. And that's probably, what the thinking is, hey, you can have the same general idea, but simplify it so you don't have, eyes bleeding rules, and then have it so many people could play. So it's say, oh, the whole world fights, right? So, I don't know, like I said, I don't know how this game plays, but it just smells like it was Risk before Risk. Then, of course, there's gray pieces as well. Same shapes, different color. American Heritage Game of the Silver War. And this copyright is, again at the bottom here, 1961. Two different military games from Milton Bradley. And then the last game here, which of course you're probably super familiar with, is Monopoly. This Monopoly game, though, is actually the Anniversary Edition. But what's interesting about this Anniversary Edition is its components is actually what you basically see classically now. So you can tell that how cheaply they must have made this game before the Anniversary Edition. But one thing I noticed that is in this game that I have not seen other Monopolies is this carousel for holding cards, which is kind of nice. It'd be nice if there was something like that just to keep money and shit straight too. But I thought that was interesting, this little carousel here for holding properties. But yes, this is the Anniversary Edition. So we'll see what's special about this puppy. Compared to like the Monopoly game that I got in my childhood, which I think is like 1985 or something. But I believe this game is 1970s. You see this box has no rules on the inside. And there is a bottom to it. Let's see if there's a way I can show it to you without all this spilling everywhere. Let's see here. Oh, there's a bunch of pieces. There's a 2 full sets of money, paper money. There's title deed card holder, which I pointed out I liked. There's also a plastic banker's tray that actually will hold the money down flat. That's actually really cool. So it's easy to pull it out and they stay put. That's actually what I was inquiring about. That's pretty cool. And this says it has a bunch of tokens and 2 extra tokens. So it's a lot more unique metal pieces you can play with. But it looks like these are the unique things for the anniversary edition. All right, let's check it out. All right, so here is the game board. This one you can tell is just printed cardboard, nothing special about it. The game board looks typical to Monopoly, how you probably seen it back in the day. Nothing special about it. This says copyright 1974. And you can see there's a couple of like stains from people putting their hands on stuff. Fingerprints from people who've played this game long ago. Then the inside here, this is all of the interior components. Here is the banker's tray here. Which is really just a plastic vac tray that you just use while you're playing the game. But it just does make it easier if you use it like this. Easier to get the shit out. Space for all the cards and dice. Small compartment for all of the titles. $20. And then you have all of the properties and all of the metal pieces in a plastic bag. But you notice this, it's kind of got both going on. So you can see the hybrid. So this does have a complicated rule book that goes into the weeds. But then also, if you look here, it does have, oh, I see. These are common questions about Monopoly. What to do in different situations that come up. So these are FAQ, whereas this is the rules and how to play the game. But so you can see I can store underneath, keep it safe. Here you have the carousel. And here's some facts about Monopoly for fun, which I'll go into in a sec. Just a close up of the carousel. This is facts just about Monopoly game history itself. Don't worry about trying to read it. I will read this to you. Just because this looks interesting. Did you know that Charles Darrow, an unemployed heating engineer from Germantown, Pennsylvania, brought Monopoly to Parker Brothers in 1935? Monopoly was originally rejected by Parker Brothers for containing 52 fundamental errors. Fundamentals in quotes. More than 80 million Monopoly sets have been sold worldwide. And this was by the 1970s, which was, from this game like 50 years ago. Monopoly is marketed in 27 countries and is printed in 15 languages: English, British and American versions, French, Italian, Greek, Norwegian, Portuguese, Japanese, Spanish, Catalan, German, Flemish, Dutch, Swedish, Finnish, and Indian. The street names in Monopoly are taken from Atlantic City, New Jersey. So they're all actually real properties. There is 15,140 in-play money in every standard set. Each year, Parker Brothers prints more than 40 billion worth of Monopoly money, more than double the amount printed annually by the U.S. Mint. Monopoly prints more money than the government. But that's pretty cool. They didn't have to do that. So you have these compartments for storing and protecting your stuff, but then this is facts about the game's history, FAQ with the rule book underneath, which is pretty cool. So you've seen Monopoly stuff before, so this is all the money. These are the chance cards. Then community chest, more just cards that you draw, shit happens. The properties, for example, here's Mediterranean Avenue. More properties. It costs more to land on it. And it tells you how much it is to buy properties to put on it, and if you want to mortgage it to the bank. And then here are the properties. You have little houses, plastic houses you can put on, as well as, Days Inn hotels. But the coolest thing about Monopoly, as you all know, is just paraded around in a metallic piece that has nothing to do with the game other than this is your character and looks cool. So this I will show. All right, so here's all of the metal pieces, which is probably the most expensive part of this entire game. Because you had a unique mold for each of these metal pieces. And it's metal. It's not plastic. It's fucking metal. Oh, I have to do the same thing. It's trying to zoom in on the words. I might just fan it out in my hand. One sec. It's trying to zoom. So I think they said 2x pieces because I think this game could play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this game could play up to 8 players, and they say they gave you 2 extra, so for 10. But here's all the metal pieces. The little dog, he keeps falling over. But you have like an iron thumb thing, I forget what it's called. Wheelbarrow, cannon, cavalry, a shoe, dog, top hat, battleship, and a car. But you see, like, what honestly, even the other version of Monopoly I have has all of these components, with the exception of really this. But this was, back when it was smaller, which is still huge. And now it's selling probably, it's probably sold like 1 billion units, probably, at this rate. Yep, this is Monopoly. If you're not familiar, this is a game that you're just trying to get the most money in the game, or if I recall, the actual is you're trying to make it so everyone else is bankrupt, is how you actually end the game. But you're just trying to make properties, get people land on it, take all their money, and then they go cry because they either lost the game or they can't leave the game because you haven't taken all their money yet. All right. Why is this not laying flat? That's the question. Yep, these are the three. Let's see. Did I say the date? I think I said it was 1970 something, 75 or 76. Get the actual copyright. Unless the copyright is only. That's weird that the copyright. Here we go. 1973 at the top here. Very old games, but still sold and still played today. With the exception of this guy, which is just expanded. Now it's Risk. Cool, that's it. Well, thanks for watching my journey down memory lane. And look at where board games are today, which is pretty awesome. My next stream is most likely going to be actually Sea of Thieves. Now that I'm learning how to play the game, got back in it on Safer Sea, so I'm not ganked. So I'll have fun parading around. Expect that next week. As well as... Diablo 4, I'm going to try streaming a Kicks Kill. See if I can't solo and find it now that I know how to find them, which is actually really obvious. It's never dawned on me. You know, what is a map? But yeah, so expect some Diablo and Sea of Thieves. Definitely some video game action next week. Again, this is Ismortah, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching Zero Kitten and Anachronist TV, and everyone else that was checking the stream out.